Hi guys, William Morris here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new library from Heavyocity's Damage series called Machina. So the library is made for both the full and player versions of Kontakt 6.8 or above, and it will take up just over 2.6 gigabytes of your hard drive space. It's currently on an intro sale for $119, and that will move to a full price of $149. There is also a $20 discount for owners of Damage and Damage 2. So Machina has been made in conjunction with sound designer Robert Dudzik, and it's a percussion library mainly focusing on mechanical and found sounds. So let's jump in and take a look. The library is divided into an Ensemble Designer and Loop Designer. So very similar to the other Damage libraries. I'm starting out on the Ensemble Designer, which you can use in a few different ways. We have sort of quick load menus up here. All Stars is normally just some presets that Heavyocity have put together, and then we have our categories below. So we've got lots of different mechanical percussion sounds, mechanical metals, ticks, clocks, that kind of thing. This one's a pinball machine. You have mechanical sounds, and then we've got some different impacts and transition presets at the bottom here. But of course, as this is the Ensemble Designer, you can always make your own ensembles. You just go into the source page at the bottom, and here's all our source sounds. So for example, if I go into this timekeepers category, all these different clocks, found sounds, different low metals. There's a huge amount of sound sources in this library. So there's lots of scope to come up with your own different ensemble patches. I won't really go through the UI too much in this video because I've covered it in a lot of other Damage videos. But your main page for the quick load sounds is going to be this staging page where you can see the layout of the drums in the room, and you get a name for each kind of sample that they've used coming up here. So the patch we're on at the minute is this Attack of the Typewriters one. It's in a triplet division, and it's from our All Stars menu up at the top here. Now these particular patches with the triplet or straight sort of markings on them are all ones that have been set up in the performance section here, so they're all doing some sort of repeated pattern or performance. So let's take a listen. So as you can hear, sort of really cool, fun percussion sounds that have all been programmed with some sort of performance in mind. Let's try another one of the All Stars patches. Let's try this Derelict Junkyard. So this one is non-performance. So these are more sort of your one-shot samples. Alright, so that's a couple of the All-Star ones. As you can see, there's quite a few, and they're all sort of geared towards a particular mood. But let's jump into some of the fuller menu stuff. Just going to try this Metal Ticks and Paper Scrapes one. One thing I've noticed going through these ones is that they're sort of not set up to be, you know, like a traditional kit. So you're not going to find like a kind of kick drum and snare down here or anything. And obviously with these type of found sounds, they're going to be a little bit hard to categorize anyway. But I would say it makes it a little bit tricky to sort of play anything conventional on them straight away without kind of learning exactly what's on the different keys. They do have groupings, so as you can see you've got your paper sounds up here and metal ticks on the lower keys. But I think assembling them into something musical It's obviously just going to take a bit more work with these type of patches. So that was the metal ticks and scrapes. Let's have a go at some of these pinball machine ones. So that's a few of the pinball ones. Let's try out something from Mechanical Sounds. Can we go at this clanking and cranking machines? So obviously some of these sounds have double hits in them, so sort of assembling them as a kit, like I say, will take a bit of work, but the sounds themselves are really cool. So hopefully you're going to be able to create some really cool kits with these. Let's try another one from this category. I'm going to go for the steam engines. Really cool, kind of using steam to create those samples there, sort of like a more interesting white noise kind of sound. Let's try something from Impacts and Transitions. Do some low ender ones. Yeah, much more sort of subby, lower kick stuff that you could use for boom type hits. Let's do one more from this category. Just going to try maybe small gears and mechs. They're really cool. I love them. Again, the sort of envelope for each of the sounds is going to vary quite a lot, so finding a way to place them and use them is going to be the trickier part, but the sounds are so good that you're kind of going to want to find a place for them. Yeah, love that. Okay, so that's a pretty kind of quick look at some of the Ensemble Designer sounds. There's obviously way more in here. And that's just the sort of arranged menu stuff. You can go even further by delving into the sound source stuff and starting to create your own ensembles. Let's move on to the other half of the library, which is your loop content. So again, we have a quick load library up at the top, divided into straight and triplet division, and we have all-star combos, which is going to give you a bit more of an overview of the different types of sounds, and then if you want more depth you can go into the menus and breakout section. So let's just try some of these. So personally, I don't really use loop stuff, but this is really kind of a nice way to give you an idea of what's possible with the Ensemble Designer part of the library. And obviously, if you're just looking for something quick and already arranged, this is a good option. So let's try a few more of these. Let's try this last one in this category. So as you can see, if I hold down this C1 here, it's activating all the different stems from this. So your lows are going to be on 2, mids are on 3, etc. So they are loops, but you get a lot of scope to sort of create something unique. Let's listen to some of the menus and breakouts then. So I'm just going to try some of these organic loops here. So that was the organic ones. Let's have a go with these experimental ones. Yeah, nice. I think I prefer these, the experimental ones. So that gives you an idea of some of the broken out stem stuff. The utility ones are basically just full menus of a particular grouping. So you get all your mids, all your lows, all your highs, etc. in one place. And everything we have in these menus is mirrored again in the triplet ones. So I hope that's given you a decent overview of the library. I really love the sound sources here, and there's so much to choose from in that regard that I think for small and mechanical percussion types, this really is a bit of a one-stop shop. And although there's going to be a bit of a learning curve in terms of working out sound selection and which sounds you can kind of put together to make a usable kit for a piece, there really is a sort of a lot of scope there to create something really different. And I think even for the price point, access to the source sounds is kind of worth it on its own. So yeah, overall, really impressed. I think this could be a really nice companion library for the rest of the Damage stuff, because it does focus on, I would say, smaller, sort of more detailed sounds. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up from me, guys. Hope you found this useful. Any questions, let me know in the comments. If not, I'll see you again on the next one.